sing along. Oh, Miller. Oh, sorry. Oh. This is also your part. All we are and all we have, our endless love goes on and on. Now with more gusto. And all we are and all we have, our endless love goes on and on and on and on and on. Sing praise to the morning rain. Take your heart on a slower train and show the world the strength born from pain. Take measure of all you are. You've got your faults, we've got ours, but I believe in grace and all my faith. Oh, 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 oh. All we are and all we have, our endless love goes on and on. Everybody sing loud at Smith. And all we are and all we have. Sing aggressively at him. Our endless love goes on and on and on and on and on. We're gonna noodle on our instruments for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. James Saku, everybody. Smith on the bass guitar. Who's this guy? It's Josh Carr. Everybody, sing with us. The lyrics are really easy. Keep it going.
Darkness comes and the world's undone. Will you take me home?
Hey, thanks everybody, and welcome to Naked Faith. Hey! Woo! Yeah! It's lovely to have you all here. It's nice to see each and every one of you. For those of you who are returning guests of the event, nice to see you again. For those who are new, welcome. Naked Faith is an alternative worship service aimed at youth and young adults, but open to everybody. What we do is we take a theme, we talk a bit about it, we play some loud music, and hopefully you get something from that. After the service, for those who are youth, there are games that are up in the hall. And for those who are young adults, Zoe, there you are. Zoe takes young adults to a nearby pub, and everybody else, you're kicked out. But thanks for being here. So we're happy you're here. Before we kick things off, firstly, we always acknowledge the land that we are on. Because especially with the theme tonight that's about the words we use matter, this is a way that we use our language to continue to give reparations. And it's one small thing that we can do that's in our power. So we want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that Naked Faith happens and is created on the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. And before we go further, we're going to play you another song. But first, we have a very special welcome. You might have noticed we have a new guitar player in the band. Let's have a lovely, warm Naked Faith welcome to Una, everybody. Woo! We're very excited. Yeah. Wave to your fans, Una. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. We're very excited that Una has joined the band. For those who don't know, the band, obviously we provide the worship music, but it's also a mentorship opportunity for youth and young adults. And there was a period there where we didn't have very many youth in the band, and then we found Jessa, but Jess isn't here this month, so who cares about her? So then we got Una, so we're very excited. Woo, Una. Kirsten's also here. She hasn't been here in a while, but she's an adult. She's old news. No, don't applaud her. No, that's not what I'm saying. Don't applaud her. No, I'm kidding. Welcome, Kirsten. It's nice to have you. And everybody else, whatever. You're here every month. Well, you know what? I'm on it now. So let me just keep introducing if you haven't been here. This is actually James's last Naked Faith of the year because he made some scheduling errors. So James, everybody, we're excited James is here. He won't be with us the next couple months. Smith on the bass. Yeah, he's pretty cool. My name is Andrew. I'm one of your hosts for the evening. And this guy back here, he's my co-host. Everybody say, hi, Josh. Hello. Hello. Josh is pretty good at them drums, hey? That was a mixed response.
I know. What are you going to do?
That's how you can tell.
It keeps me humble.
All right, well, I thought that my prompt there would get that band ready for the next song, but they didn't get the hint. So I'm just going to keep filling time until they get up here. All right, I need my guitar, though. Somebody help. Now I'm the problem. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It's tea time. Yeah, that's mine. That's the one I need. Where's my strap, though? Kirsten? That's not Kirsten's fault. I know I should get it myself, but I'm in it. I'm in it now. I'm halfway through the experience. Thank you. I can put the strap on. All right. Josh?
Uh-huh.
Fill time.
All right. Yeah, all right. Everybody get up and dance. What a bunch of squares. Unbelievable. What, in your everyday life, does people invite you to dance? I don't think so. That was a once-a-week opportunity, and no one utilized it. I'll give you one more chance. Oh, my. Ah, hooray! Now sit back down. The bit's over.
All right, we're finally ready. Let's play a song. This one's about words. what I said last night. I talk too much. I can't shut up after a long fight. Oh, it's my fatal flaw. Run my tongue, not speaking up. I grew up with too many siblings, and I never learned it all. See, I always shoot myself right through the foot and shove that foot back in my mouth. Oh, I'm my own worst enemy. It's the fear of getting it wrong, so I stay too long. I hold on, oh, it's always better to let it all go. See, I always shoot myself right through the foot and shove that foot back in my mouth. Oh, I'm my own worst enemy. Maybe I'm the actor waiting to hear cut from the director, waiting off screen. Maybe I'm a phone line whose wires all got crossed. Its static's never ending. Always shoot myself right through the foot, then shove that foot back in my mouth. Oh, I'm my own worst. See, I always shoot myself right through the foot and shove that foot back in my mouth. Oh, I'm my own worst. Yes, I'm my own worst. Yes, I'm my own worst enemy.
I'll be honest, that entire song I had one string that was out of tune. So if you noticed something that sounded weird, that's probably what it was. I tried not to play it when I noticed, but you know what? Nobody's perfect. What happened was I broke a string during rehearsal, and then we put a new string on, and new strings don't stay in tune very well. I know that's really interesting, isn't it? I'm just going to remedy the problem a little bit right now so it doesn't happen again. But as we move into our time of worship, we're going to light our Christ candle. It's a way to signify that we're entering into worship. And so whatever people need to do, just take a moment, whether it's taking a breath, closing your eyes, or just watching as the fire gets passed into the candle. I am going to invite one... Miller just shook his head at me. I won't make you do it again. No, Caitlin, would you come light the Christ candle for us, please?
Hello. What a nice day. But no one danced. Well, some people danced, but it was a bit. I understand. Not everybody gets my sense of humor, and I get that. But I'm not going to change. Words. Collections of letters that we weave into sentences. Tools we use to convey our thoughts, emotions, and needs, among other things. Language, communication, and talking, in so many capacities, is automatic. We don't often think about our everyday conversations, the word we use. Whether spoken, signed, or spelled out, the words we use and how we use them enable us to connect with the world around us. Now, words aren't just strung together for no reason, and they don't just come from anywhere. They are storied. They contain vast springs of meaning. And further, language and culture are intrinsically tied. The things we say, the words we use, and the context of those things are products of our lived experiences. Culture is ever-shifting, and so too is, sorry guys. There it is. Culture is ever-shifting, and so too are the words we use to define ourselves, describe ourselves, and relate ourselves to others. Language is not only a tool we use to express ourselves, but it's also an extension of ourselves. And so if we think about the ways in which our words represent us, it becomes critical to think about the language we use and the power the speech we use has over our own contexts, our worlds. If our context is a product of culture and culture is lived through language and communication, then our very realities are products of the words we use. Language is a powerful thing, and understanding so puts a certain level of responsibility on our shoulders. Think about the words you use, the context in which you apply them, and the way you adapt them as things change. Reflect on what the words you use mean to you. Are some filler? Do some have more weight?
So do we think differently?
In different languages.
Okay.
В других языках мы Sorry, it's like a tongue twister.
That's a brilliant question.
The Wolfe hypothesis, as it's known, which is the idea that our language affects our thinking, has been debated for decades, even centuries.
There's a growing amount of experimental evidence that differences across languages have an influence on the way speakers of those languages conceive of the world. We can see that different languages structure the world in different ways. They carve up the various continua and different types of relations in the world.
The way that different languages chop up the world almost can vary, and that does actually influence how you see that world.
I think language changes everything about the way you think.
I go into a certain mindset. I sound deeper, I don't know why.
I perceive situations differently, I react differently.
I think I'm more grounded and more in touch with my emotions in German.
Yeah, it makes me feel more assertive when I'm speaking Dutch because you kind of just get straight to the point.
It's not just for talking. Language is for organizing an otherwise messy world into identifiable categories. It gives us ready labels.
It's like Lego. You add another word to the word, and that makes it more precise.
Language in French is super gendered, so everything has a masculine or feminine, and it just makes everything feel a bit more one or the other.
If you have a word like bridge, If it's in a language where it is carrying a masculine gender, then bridges will be described by people slightly differently. So it might be its usefulness or its power might be more associated with the feminine gender, whereas its strength and its size might be more sort of associated with the masculine gender.
The structure of a language forces us to attend to certain aspects of a language, certain aspects of reality that are relevant for a language at the moment of using that language. It's known as the thinking for speaking hypothesis. There's evidence that language involves some kind of image simulation, and that has a consequence for how we perceive of certain events.
Colour is quite a complex property of our visual world. Your brain's decoding colour in quite a complicated way.
So you have many languages that have a term to denote both green and blue. And typically we call this a GRU term. You find this in languages like the Himba, for example, in the Namibian plains. In this experiment, we ask participants to look at the color tile, and then after 30 seconds, we show them the full array of colors. And we say, now pick the one that you just saw. And it's a very difficult task if you're an English speaker. But a Himba speaker can do it like child's play, because that color is central to them. You simply cannot recognize colors that are not easily encoded in your native language.
I think by virtue of being born into a particular culture and the language that goes with that culture, we are almost certainly given to think in a particular way.
The human brain doesn't work out of the box. You grow up and you're growing up learning languages in particular environments, so you've got, by the time you're dealing with an adult, you're dealing with a brain that has been trained up to be an expert along a number of quite specific dimensions.
There's actually another very, very good reason to learn a language, and that's simply to gain another perspective on the world.
So you can actually say a lot more, a lot quicker in Uzbek than you can in English, which is quite interesting. It used to be nomadic, which means that the language has to be a lot quicker because you're speaking to people while moving around and all this kind of stuff.
But in a sense, language is culture, and culture is language.
Speaking a different language is almost a kind of gateway into a completely different cultural understanding.
우리가 다른 언어로 생각을 다르게 할까요?
В других языках мы думаем по-другому.
Pensamos diferente em outras línguas?
Cognitive diversity, I think, is at the core of human nature. It is probably, if you're looking for universals, diversity is probably the one true universal of humanity.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
You guys don't have to subscribe, it's fine. Hello. It's becoming my thing, you know? You guys won't know it's me talking unless I start like that. Now I'm getting serious. No one laugh, or I'll laugh. I just said Morley. We are our own worst critics. We've all heard this phrase. The nasty things we say to ourselves in our moments of evaluative pondering are things that we would never say to our friends. Hopefully, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're not good enough. If someone were to say the opposite, we'd likely believe them. It's easier to see things in ourselves if other people name them. So how does this relate to our theme tonight? Negative self-talk can be a plague, a self-inflicted illness that we just can't shake. When we convince ourselves we're no good, it sticks. And when we can't see the good in ourselves, it can be hard to see the good in anything. Negativity can be pervasive, and negative language burrows deep. This is why it's so important to practice positive self-talk. As someone who spends a great deal of time in my own head, I often have to deconstruct the negative thought patterns that sometimes persist in my inner world. In the past, and still sometimes today, I struggle with the idea of friendship, often circling on the idea that people aren't really my friends. I'm just around, and they're being nice. This results in feeling unwanted, unwelcomed, and patronized. And the list goes on. which then leads to further withdrawal. It's a loop. My inner world influences my outer, and the loop continues. Unless we do some work. If I were to look around and really think of all the people in my life, I'm actually very rich in friendship. But it's my job to reframe and focus differently. Ultimately, our inner worlds are scary because we're the ones responsible for their creation and maintenance. It's our job to trim the hedges of our unhelpful thoughts and self-talk and make room for flowers of unconditional self-compassion to grow. To extend compassion inwards is a brave choice. If negative talk can affect how we see ourselves, imagine what we could do or believe if we talked about ourselves like we talk about those who we love most dearly.
Pretty close, though, isn't it, Smith? Let's give that a little tune. Brilliant. All right. Ready?
I've been lost before. I've taken a few too many left turns.
I've been full of doubt, self-hatred that unfamiliar
Chance. I'm looking for a sign, a guide to give me hope, something to tell me which way to go. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we'll renew day by day. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we'll renew day by day. World's a pretty place, full of trauma, darkness, and made for faith.
I've been full of rage. Might my expectations be too high again? I'm looking for a sign, a guide to give me hope, someone to tell me keep on going.
And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. Renewed day by day.
God is our strength and ever-present help in
God
trouble.
is our strength and ever-present help in
God
trouble.
is our strength and ever-present help in trouble. God is our strength and ever-present help in trouble. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not fades away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day.
So if the words we choose shape our internal world, how we feel about ourselves, then we also want to talk about that the words we choose impact and shape the external world around us. I feel this has become an ever more interesting and complicated subject in a world that seems to constantly be having debates, talking about free speech versus cancel culture. I think it's important that we take a moment this evening to reflect on the power that our words really have on those around us. So think about a time, take a minute, go back in the Wayback Machine. Think about a time when someone has said something mean about you or something that embarrassed you. Think of a time someone made a joke that you awkwardly laughed at, but inside you felt really uncomfortable. Think of a time when someone said something that made you feel really, really small. Everyone has an example of this, a time that the words someone else used shaped the perception we have of ourselves. And so, the same is true the other way. How we talk about other people and about the world around us inevitably will impact the people around us. Part of how we've worked to create an inclusive community at Naked Faith and in the United Church is by choosing very intentionally how we talk to each other and how we talk about each other. By choosing words that prioritize kindness and respect above all, it shapes our little world that we get to experience every month. As Josh said earlier, as culture shifts, our language shifts with it. It is ever changing, adapting to the needs of us as we change and evolve. And so there's lots of examples of sayings, of words that have changed their meaning over time, words that used to be okay to, well, maybe not okay to say, but became less and less okay to say. One of the sayings that I think we all know is that, saying we've all called out many times, "That's so gay." That stopped being accepted years ago. A term that was being used in a way that was hurtful for a group of people that perpetuated discrimination, oppression, started getting called out and advocated for our language to change. These types of examples have happened, I think, more often recently. And one of the reactions I often hear is something along the lines of somebody will say a word and then they'll say, "Oh, I'm not supposed to say that anymore." First of all, I think it's about recognizing that it's not about what you can or can't say. It's not about what you're allowed to say or not allowed to say. It's about what we've been talking about so far tonight, just recognizing and acknowledging that our words hold power, even if a specific word doesn't hold power for you specifically. Just because a word is not hurtful to you does not mean it's not hurtful to others, because language is subjective and cultural and context dependent. It's about choosing kindness. And really, at the end of the day, there are so many other words to choose from. If the choice is to make a slight vocabulary change for you in a way that will be an act of great compassion to reduce hurt for somebody else, it seems like an easy choice. And again, just to reiterate, we are different and diverse people. Just because something does not matter to you does not mean it shouldn't matter to others. But at the same time, as Josh and I were talking about this, we wanted to talk a little bit about why people have this reaction. Why do changes in our language cause a reaction? Why is it hard sometimes? There's probably a lot of answers to this. I'm not saying this is the only answer, but one of the things we've been looking at is how language is an extension of our identity. And when any aspect of our identity is threatened, we get defensive. So language being a way of expressing our identity, when language changes, when we learn that a word isn't acceptable to say anymore, I think it's important to reflect. Are we upset that the word is changing? Or are we upset because it feels like a piece of who we are, our identity, extension of ourselves is changing? And maybe we just want to encourage a little bit of introspection versus immediate anger towards other people. Change as a whole is a scary experience. Changing jobs, moving to a new place, we deal with those things by expressing ourselves through language, by naming our anxieties. So the prospect that language, the very tool we use to express ourselves and shape our reality, is always constantly changing, can be a very scary thing. If language is the foundation of our realities, it can feel like the bottom brick is being taken out sometimes. The foundation feels shaky. So I think part of our work is making peace with the fact that change is the only constant. Yes, it's scary and hard, but our work is to pick up a new brick, put it in its place. Our work is to recognize that for new things to be built, old things have to be torn down.
I am the boy who cried wolf, and I know I've lied in the past. But last night I saw his yellow eyes shining in the dark. Yeah, I know I've spun tales with his voice, and I opened my mouth too fast. But last night I saw his footprints in the past. Could swim every sea from South Pole to North. And I know I'll only ever be the boy who cried wolf. Well, I am the shepherd's only son, and I know what a joke I've become. I have an honest heart, but I have lies on my tongue. I don't know how it started or where it came from, and I have no reason and I have no proof. But this time I swear I'm telling the truth. I saw that old wolf from tail to tooth, and I know that he's hungry and he's coming down too. Well, I could swim every sea from South Pole to North, and I could climb every tree and scale every course, and I could share only the truth from this day forth. But I know I'll only ever be the boy who cried wolf. Oh, I'm the boy who cried wolf. Oh, the boy who cried.
we'd like to invite Marion, one of the wonderful ministers from this very St. Thomas United Church, up to lead us in prayer. Marion, everybody.
Let us pray. From the words of the psalmist David, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. I realize that the words I speak have tremendous power both in my own life and in my relationships. Teach me, God, to always speak words that are true to you and your teachings, your word, and to glorify you. Help me to be careful to speak words that build others up and not tear them down, that edify rather than criticize, that are spoken in love and truth and not twisted by my own desires and expectations, and that bring confidence and not discouragement. Where I have spoken words that are negative or harmful about anyone else, forgive me. Keep me from saying things that hurt or cut others down in any way. I want to be kind with my words and have the tongue of the wise that promotes healing and blessing. Help me not to speak negative things about myself. And every time I start to say a critical word, help me to stop immediately and keep a lid on it. Your words say, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt and good taste, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Today, let my words honor you. We pray this in all your holy names. Amen.
I know. We're trying to figure out logistics. Sorry, everybody. Thank you, Marion, for leading us in prayer. So on that note, let's talk about the Bible. Yeah, all right. Woo! Thank you. We've all heard that idea in religion, spread the good word. Have you heard the good word? Language is inherently important to faith and religion, for better or for worse. The Bible is literally the written language that guides our understanding of faith and spirituality. So it begs the question, what makes the word good? Is the word good? Who's the decider? What counts as a good word? Is this word actually harmful? I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers. Marion, the minister, has all the answers. No. Get back up here. No. Something I've always appreciated, though, about my journey in the United Church are experiences where we get to talk about the different ways to interpret the Bible, where we can acknowledge that the Bible was written by people and has been translated many times through many languages, which is certainly going to change the meaning over time. So I like to think of it as an important book with certainly some good words in it. But it's not necessarily something I have always taken at face value and assume everything it has to say is infallibly good without interpretation and context. Maybe we sometimes challenge that idea of take the word as gospel, no matter what. Because we know, and something we often acknowledge, that the language of religion has absolutely been harmful in the past. And I think most of us are aware of that. Religion, unfortunately, has been an example of where language has impacted the external world in a not-so-happy way, in some ways. I was texting with Tracy, the other minister from St. Thomas United Church, and she gave me a very pertinent example that the timing is quite wild because St. Thomas is actually showing a documentary this Sunday, is it? At 2? Yeah. So this Sunday at 2 p.m., if you want to come watch it, it's called 1946, The Mistranslation That Shifted Culture. And it tells the real story of how in 1946, there was a translation of the Bible, and there have been many translations of the Bible, because guess what? It wasn't written in English originally, if you didn't know that. Newsflash. And it turns out that this translation in 1946 involved a mistranslation of 2 Greek words. That mistranslation led to the word homosexual being in the Bible for the first time. And we know the incredible damage that was done from this. The oppression, the persecution, the othering that religion played a part and continues to play a part in of the LGBTQ community. The mistranslation was caught, but the correction was not made until 1971, and the damage was already done. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but we could write a cool song about that. Sorry. This is just one example where we can see the power of the language of religion, and it was from a mistranslation. I think that we, as people of faith, have a calling, maybe a responsibility, to choose our language intentionally, to use our language to live out the radical and inclusive love that Jesus role modeled for us, especially given the harm that religious language has done in the past. Maybe it's our role to be aware of the meanings certain words have for others, knowing and accepting that words have different meaning to different people. Knowing that choosing our words intentionally is actually an act of great love and kindness and compassion, and in some cases, an act of social justice. And circling back to this idea of the good word, at least in my opinion, it's being aware that just because we believe that some words are good and hold helpful meaning, does not always mean that will be helpful for everyone. So let's allow space for people to use different language to explore their inner and outer worlds. Let's be aware of our own language and how that impacts our inner and outer worlds. And especially, let's allow space for different language to explore spiritual worlds as well, because there's a lot of diversity around faith, spirituality, religion. All right, we're going to sing a little ditty for you. We only have a couple songs left, and we'd like to have some fun with these last couple ones. I'm going to invite everybody to stand as you are able with this one. As you are able and willing. If you're not willing to stand, I will stare at you judgingly the whole time. No, I'm kidding. I won't. It's okay. But this is a really fun song. Some of you might know this one, but even if you don't, it's pretty easy. There's going to be, there's a whole section near the end where we need you to sing along loud and proud with us, okay? And it's just the words. Where's the melody? Ole, 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 ole. Huh? Pretty easy. Ole, 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 ole. Okay, ready? Let's practice. Ready, Kirsten?
Yes.
Ole, 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 oh.
I always run out of breath at the end of that. Let's try one more time. For me, not for you. You did great, but you could do a little better, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ole, 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 oh. Nice, pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna, but the first part of the song, that doesn't really happen, so you gotta wait till the last part of the song. But then also, it's a pretty danceable song. It kind of feels like an Irish jig through a lot of it, so you gotta dance an Irish jig, okay? Can you do that? All right. Show them, Kirsten. This is what an Irish jig is.
I'll do it if you do it.
Okay, right now or later?
Later.
Later, not right now. Don't be crazy.
I promise.
All right, are you guys ready? That was a false start. This happens. We're going to take a mulligan. It's all good. Are we ready? Okay.
Tear your city down, ole, ole, ole.
to sing. Here we go. More time, ole, 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 ole. Hey, very nice, good singing. My Irish dancing made me step my guitar chord and it fell out of my guitar. There we go. All right. What's happening here? Where are we at? Okay. All right, here we are. That's good. Okay. Well, hopefully you've gotten something from tonight. Really, our goal with Naked Faith is, we're not trying to tell you what to do. We're not trying to tell you how to think. We're just trying to share some of our thoughts. We're trying to explore. We're trying to unpack a theme, and we hope that there's something that stood out to you. If there was one goal, hopefully it made you think about the language that you use. I think this is always something to reflect on, to think about. I really, I don't have much more I want to say about that. So take something with you from tonight, even if it's one thing. We're going to say some thank yous and announcements. First of all, thank yous for making tonight possible. And how this works is we're all going to start clapping together, and then I'm going to try and list off everybody that I need to thank, okay? And then sometimes I get out of breath, and sometimes I forget people, and we're all human, all right? I'm saying this for myself, for my internal language, to not judge myself too much. Huh? See? Role modeling. Very good. All right, everybody, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Thank you, first of all, to St. Thomas United Church for hosting, and also to St. Thomas United Church for providing dinner. Thank you very, very much to the volunteers. It was delicious. Thank you to Marion for providing the prayer and just your emotional support throughout this event. Thank you to the band for playing with us and playing with me and providing the music. Thanks to all of you for coming. Thank you to Brenda for all her work behind the scenes, even though she wasn't able to be with us tonight. Thank you to Leanne for her tech work, finding the video, putting the slideshow together. Thank you to... All right, let me think about this for a second. Let me take a break for a second, okay? All right, are we ready? I just need to catch my breath, yeah? Okay. Thank you to Josh for being my co-host and for helping plan Naked Faith and just generally keeping my head on straight. He's a wonderful person to work with. Thanks to Una for being her first Naked Faith, everybody. Woo! Thank you to the person who works tirelessly all day long, who makes us sound way better than we have any right sounding. Kaylee Sonic Boom Gooden! And of course, thank you to Joanna for being my wife, Charlie for being my son, and Eleanor for being my daughter. Thanks, guys. What a lovely little family. That's great.
And a very quiet, but then growing and bubbling into thunderous applause for Andrew Nicholson, leader of the Naked Faith Band.
Thanks, everybody. That was pretty cool. All right, let's make some announcements, things that are important for you to know. First
Announcements!
Of all,
This is my new thing every month.
Here we go. First of all, tonight, if you are a youth, you got to stick around. There's going to be games that start up in the hall in about 10 to 15 minutes after the service.
18 and under.
There you go. You're going to look for, who are they looking for? Simon, Miller?
Just for youth.
Simon and Miller. Well, you essentially go, Don't look for Miller, look for Simon.
Miller's irresponsible.
There we go.
No, he's not. I'm sorry. No.
If you're a young adult, you can look for Zoe. There's Zoe. You're going to a nearby pub, have some conversation, young adult pub night.
Conversation, talk about stuff.
April 24th is the next... Oh, typo. Uh-oh.
Typo!
April 25th, Thursday, is the next young adult pub night. That's not part of Naked Faith. Happens at the Bull and Finch.
It's on Elbow Drive.
It might. Is it 6 p.m.? Is it usually 7 p.m.? Oh man, you guys, numbers are hard. It's okay. Hey, look,
typo.
they fixed it. Well done. 7 p.m.
7.
All right, 7. Here we go. Watch. It says 7. There we go. You're nailing it. May 5th. Is it May 5th? That one's right.
That's correct.
Okay. Dirty Theology, 6 p.m. happens at Fish Creek United Church. All right. That's a Sunday. The next Naked Faith, notice it's a little early next month because we always avoid the long weekend. So it's Friday, May 10th.
We're panicking.
That's true. We don't have a theme. We don't have a set list. What's happening?
I'm stressed.
So that's Friday, May 10th.
May 10th.
Probably at the old Living Spirit building. June 7th to 9th. Hey, everybody, it's camp. Camp is back. Hey! If you don't know about camp, talk to Simon, not Miller. And then Saturday, June 15th, Pride Prom returns, everybody. Woo! If you didn't know, last year, St. Thomas hosted and put on the inaugural Pride Prom. Which is prom for all those who felt they could not attend prom as their authentic selves, and everyone else who wanted to be an ally to that cause. And the Naked Faith Band had the very wonderful honor of playing at it, and we have the honor of playing at it again. And so we're very excited to be there. We think everybody should think about coming. Get dressed up in your...
clothes!
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. You rescued me. Anyway, Pride Prom. That's going to be a heck of an event. Now, a couple other things I want you all to know about, okay? Important things. Also on Sunday, May 5th, in the morning, there's a church service at Fish Creek United Church where something very special is happening. You guys know Brenda, right? Yeah, Brenda McKellar. It's a commissioning service, which is where they honor ministers. And Brenda is being commissioned as a diaconal minister within the United Church, which is a very, very big deal. We love her very much, so that's very exciting. If you can come, we want all the youth and young adults who want to support her to come out to that, so think about coming to that. That's Sunday, May 5th in the morning at Fish Creek United Church. I don't know. When church starts. When does church start at Fish Creek? 10, thank you. Yes. Is it at McDougall United Church? No one told me that. I'm sorry. Maybe they told me and I forgot. Thank you. Wow. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Maybe streaming it from Fish Creek. Well, egg on my face. It's at McDougall United Church. Does church also start at 10 at McDougall? Do we know? 10:30. Okay.
Why don't they all start at the same time?
Go at like 9:45 and you'll be fine either way, okay? You can just visit with people if you're early, all right? So that's exciting. Hold on 1 second. Brenda just texted me, said it's not at Fish Creek United Church, it's at McDougall, so she's a couple minutes behind, but she's got my back. Thank you. Oh, anyways, let that embarrassment wash over me. I feel like there was one other thing, but I don't know. Maybe that was it. Josh, anything else we want to announce?
The reason I do that thing right now where I yell is because it makes me feel like the mayor's assistant in The Grinch, the Jim Carrey version, when he's like, fudge, cook off! And then they shove all the fudge in the Grinch's face, just for context.
Yeah, thank you for explaining that. Glad we know that. All right. Una, are you back?
Next song. Sorry, I'm done.
You don't have to be back. I mean, you don't have to be done. You have to come back. All right. Una's back, everybody. We're going to play one more song. I got to tune my guitar here. You guys know this one. This is going to be a fun one. You can totally say no, but Grace, do you want to come sing? You can say no. I don't want you putting you on the spot. Nobody look at us. Yeah, okay. Grace, everybody. Is this one? You know the note. Okay.
I just didn't know where to go.
Okay. If you didn't know, Grace was in the band, but Grace had an interesting adventure in the band. She joined the band. We had one practice together, and then COVID hit, and we had to shut everything down. And so Grace didn't get to sing live with us for like 2 years, but she was in all the, you probably, if you've seen the videos, she was in the videos. It was very wonderful to have her as part of it. And then she finally got to sing live with us when we went to play at the Chinook Winds Conference in Red Deer a couple years ago, and that was very exciting. Yeah, and so now you're here. So we thought, why not come up on stage and sing with us? But don't mess it up. No, I'm kidding.
Try.
I'm kidding.
No promises.
All right, fair enough. All right. And hey, one more round of applause. Una's First Naked Faith, everybody. Woo! All right, are we ready? Am I done talking? Okay. Everybody stand up for this one. I forgot to tell you.
It's only if you feel left out or looked down on. Try your best, try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves. You're away.
It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright.
It just takes some
They're just all the same. You know you're doing better on your own, so don't buy in. Live right now, just be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. Here we go! It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out or looked down on. Just do your best. Do your best. Do everything you can. Do everything you can. Don't worry about what bitter heart are gonna say. Just take some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright.
Hey, thanks for coming to Naked Faith, everybody. Lovely to have you all here. Come back again next month. Youth go play games. Young adults go to the pub. Everybody else, get out of here. Good night, everybody.